Good morning, Namaskar. This is Engineer Suraj Singh on this day, February 26, 2021, Friday, speaking to you from Bharat, India regarding professional issues, public issues, and quality in life in general and professional related quality. Title of talk is Civil Field Engineering Designs, Construction Methods, Contracts, EPC, AnnexSL, Organizations, Communication, Coordination, Quantity and Quality, and Why Quality. Burning issues, old issues, new issues, all issues, and quality is not seen anywhere, that issue. Don't be surprised with this statement that quality is not seen anywhere. Quality exists on papers, quality exists in imaginations, but quality does not exist in real life. Quality in life has gone. There are so many reasons for that, but one reason I am very concerned is quality of work, quality of system, quality of product. All these are interrelated and must be. If these are not interrelated, then we cannot study anything. Whatever product we get, it comes from some work, and whatever work or process we do, it comes from some system, and that system also itself is having certain quality, quality organization or quality structure, and all that quality structure is designed and operated by some organization, and that organization is a unit of society as far as some production is concerned, some you can say operation or market is concerned. So I every day for last couple of months or weeks have been keeping myself involved in this talk for general and specific interests. It's interest of everyone that how to achieve quality. If it does not exist, if you think it exists, it's fine, but quality starts from individual. It goes to from individual to family members, and from whole family to whole society, and then from society to whole world. That is quality, but definition of quality could be different. It is once you can say it's one definition in your society, that could be a different definition another. That depends upon conception, that depends upon opinion, and that also depends upon contemplation. But ultimately it is product. You may be using whatever product in your life. There are thousands of products, you pay for them. It's not only product that you consume, it's also product of services. I consider services also product because it's a product. Goods, you can say, we call goods and services nowadays. You say GST, we call taxes of goods and services. So products are goods and services are services. So goods and services we avail, we pay for that, and we avail throughout world, and every citizen of this world pays for those goods and services. And when we pay something, some amount to others for goods and services, it means we should get that product with complete quality inclusions. If quality is not included in that product or service, that is defective product or service, we can simply say. And that's vendor of product and service has got no right to be paid, but that already charges you, and then you cannot do anything against that. And if you want to do something against that, it's a very long process, and nobody wants to take that headache. And because just think, okay, we'll not buy this product or service next time from this vendor. That's all you can say. Nobody wants to excavate that problem. Why to exhume that dead body when we can go another way? That is easy approach we adopt. Now, product and quality, I think we should not say separately. If you say separately, I think it's just innocence. Means when every time I remind that product or good means that it should be with quantity and quality. If you buy let us say we buy 100 items of same product, all 100 must be quality based. You can't say 75 are quality based and 25 are not quality based. It can't be accepted, it can't be even expected of vendor to state like that. Because why could you produce that product without quality? Point stands there. If without quality you want to sell, why you want to sell with quality then? You can't give two products. Yes, if you are charging differently, you can say this is charged for this product, this is charged for that product because of proportional quality. That is different because you are not charging for that, and you are declaring this is quality standard of this product. If I like that one, I buy it, and if I don't like that one, I don't buy it. But declaration is there. So this is a limited quality product, and this is full quality product, and this is that. Whatever is best prescribed, whatever I am declaring, that's what is having. Then there is no you can say no fault on that vendor. So it's my option which one I have to buy. But point doesn't stop there. Quality is mentioned, means quality product. Whatever requirement I say, when I say requirement means whatever is what that is requirement. Somebody's requirement is low quality, somebody's requirement is high quality. There can be classes in quality, but whatever it is, whatever is requirement that we have to fulfill. But when you say I'm charging this much for you, there should be some requirement of that. What level of quality you have put in, that must be met. That's point in quality. Because if quality exists, if quality prevails in products, I think that's real engineering. Means engineering doesn't mean only product. Engineering means quality product. Just like every professional is professional, not because that person educated only, that person has been moved in such a situation, such an environment that learns a lot, and that's why you say professional. And what does professional mean? You should understand there are two main. One is professional, one is occupational. Occupation, anybody can, whoever can be occupational. Even a person without having any education, without having any trade knowledge, can be occupational. But a person says I am professional. Professional means must have advanced in-depth knowledge, both theoretical and experience-wise, or you can say practical knowledge, applicable knowledge. That person is professional. Professions cannot be taken as an easy word, because this means a level of expertise must that person have. That's what expertise or professional we say. And then we talk field of construction itself. It's a very wide field, and it's must have design basis, it must have work basis, and it must have contract basis, and organization of course, and all based on right title, communication, coordination, quantity, quality, etc. This is what giving about this. Again, question comes to quality. Means how to understand the quality has been given. How to understand that? We can understand quality has been given based on some background backing. And what is that background backing? If somebody says this is my product, this is how do you say you got this quality? What is background of that? You must have certain process, certain definition, or certain, you can say, plan for that product production. What's that plan? That's point consumer can ask. Consumer means when I'm saying you are doing business, you are buying and you are selling. You are buying something, you must buy it based on its attainment product specifications. So if there is a record, there is a backup, there is a description, this product has reached to this stage based on so much plans, so much designs, so much specifications, and it complies with all of them. Then you can say yes, there's a background, there's a process, there's a design basis, and based on all that, those complete plan has been affect, and consequences of that effects are that this product has come out. So this product is not at random. You can say that there's some sequence, some background, and some, you can say, if you go in flashback of that, you'll find all those records that with the organizer, and we can say yes, that system has worked, and it's assumed that everybody involved with that system must have worked. In reality, if the product is good, product complies, and if product doesn't comply, this means there must be only on a system without being working, without being operational. There are two ways. One is system is defined, but it's defined only, it's not working. Another is system is defined and it is working, it's operated. There are different cases. Means when it is operated, you will get product meeting requirements. There is no way it cannot. And one is only formality. We have this system with us, it's working, and there's complete show of offices and all everywhere, but people are not interested, people are not dedicated, people are devoted, and the product comes out to be unfair. So you can say cover up, and other one is work up. You want cover up or you want work up, it depends. I am talking all this because it's happening. It's happening. These days, I don't find enormous number of projects or products that meet requirement, that meet what our education says, our system says, engineering says, or whatever is written on products. It's not possible to get tuning of that one. So it's very serious issue. I'm talking about quality. If quality is not input, if quality does not speak of itself, if product says yes, I am quality product, but I cannot work for you as that quality, then you laugh on that. How you are quality product when you cannot perform that way? That's point where we want to attain to. If I say I am very good engineer, yes, I say I can. I am very good engineer. But when you seek my services, I don't care for what I have to give you. Or I demand something from you that it has to be done like this, it should be done like this, and you mind while asking this. It happens. You need a service from an engineer, but you don't want to involve yourself. How can you get service then? Engineering is that. Means, for example, if you want me to make some work, to make some drawing for you, do some design for you, for your building or for your product, then I would seek some information. Because you are owner, I will ask you only, give me this information, that information. And you irritate with that. If you irritate with that, you say, oh, you are irritating me with this. Why are you asking for this? Why are you asking for that? You are an engineer, do it. No, that's not. It is a process. As I said, backup. There should be backup based on which I have to take decision. Just like a doctor takes decision based on test reports, based on systems. Means doctor cannot simply say, okay, come on, what's your name? Oh, this is your disease. I cannot say that. Same way, every product has some background, some descriptions for its making, and that must be met. Otherwise, product is a failure, it is a deceit, it is just a commercial item, nothing else. It's not a professional product. That's why I say production means quality production, product means quality product, professional means quality professional. And if you understand these points, it's not related to one country, it's the whole world that quality must be attained, not in terms of quality institutions like ISO or others. Those institutions only prescribe standards, nothing else. It is for those institutions, for those organizations, for those companies who are involved in business, who are involved in this world of commerce and industry. They have to apply, they have to include, they have to implement their own designs, their own plans of execution. They have to do themselves. Nobody is going to interfere in their work, because that is self-devised work, self-devised plan, self-devised design, and self-devised method. Everything comes to method when I say this is quality, this is quantity, this is whatever else. Even designs require everything. Quality itself requires everything, safety requires everything. Everything I mean to say, systematic work, systematic formation. Without systematic formation, we cannot do anything. Even if you learn counting, you have to learn from 1 to 100. Or if you want to learn English or some other language, you have to learn its letters, its grammar, its translation. There is a backup for that. This is called backup, means you learn backup and then you apply that and you get expert on that after some time. So that's what quality requires. Methodology, method, system, you can say, on gross level, detailed system, detailed method. If you have that with you, of course it's your own defined within certain guidelines that requires implementation also. It's not simply you define, it's not essay only that you write an essay or précis and stop it then submit for examination. No, it's not that. Nobody will examine you, it's your own examination. You have to examine self, you have to find errors self, and you have to correct those errors self. That is what system requires. Plan, do, check, and improve, or you can say plan, do, examine, or test is correct. Plan, do it. You plan it, you do it. You check and you correct. That's required. What is this? This is a method. It's kind of method. Procedure. It's a plan. When we work, we find many plans. And I used to think, oh, plan is a drawing. Because I learned a plan. Plan is drawing. And we have a national plan in our country before called 5-year plans. We could not understand it also in the beginning, but it's a plan of nation. Same way, plan of whole world. And also plan of a family. And then you can say plan of project. Or you say plan in profession. So there's a plan for everything. And that plan you have to decide. Because you have to deal with that. You have to invest money. You have to still invest materials. You have to invest your own energies on that. So that plan is your own. You are originator of that plan. You are exponent of that plan. You are author of that plan. And you are worker on that plan at end. So this is very ordinarily understood like this only, that we have to be smart enough to act, and that plan is very, very important if we consider this way or that way. Ultimately it comes to work at end. This work is in factory or in industry or on sites of construction. This work may be somewhere else in small scale industry. This may be spare part work, or this may be assembly of machine, or it may be construction of structures, or it may be road work, or wherever you find that you have to work. Everywhere some method is involved, some procedures are involved, some specifications are involved. After all, what is specification? You have to understand that. We say generality. No, specification is not generality. It is self-saying specification. Something is something specialized for this item, so it's called specification. Specifically, we have to talk of that. It's not generality. Where generality stands with no need of writing because everybody knows about that. We know about A to Z. We don't need to understand specifically. We know about counting. So wherever it's for everybody, 2 plus 2 is equal to 4 is nothing specific in that because it is general. But when something comes else, we can say, oh, specifically it is applied onto this. This is an application, a specific application onto for this work. That's what is called importance item here. Importance of item. So, for example, methodology is very important if you think this way. Last time I showed to you one method statement. Now, I'm just giving an example into this. I'll come back to issue. For example, this is a building practice profession, just the title is. It's considered now is site environment management, for example. It's just an example for you to understand what should be done. Client to client, just considering of economy on project cannot exclusively be criteria to avoid or reduce safety measures. A minimum level of safety measures installation should be made a must for a site supervised to ensure the workforce must work safely. It's preferable to work with acceptable level of safety rather than losing lives of workers. Now, just an example is site environment management, for example. This is the title of the statement, just giving references. Is removal of hazardous material. I mean, you know what is hazardous material, which is detrimental to health and which can create health hazard or environmental hazard, and that's called. So we have to be very much clear about this, what you're talking, and say, okay, in this way I have index and then scope, then it is reference documents, definitions, responsibilities, and safety method, and then it is, you can say, continuous and equipment attachment. And so I'm just giving an example to you how it should be done, and it like this. Let's say this removal of so scope index. It says scope, reference of documents, definitions, responsibilities, safety method, equipment attachment. This index means whatever you're going to do. So just I put in oblique, you can just go one by one. So scope, then reference document, then definition, the responsibilities, and safety method, and equipment arrangement. So scoping, this says, purpose of this method same is to define procedure that shall be implemented for investigation, quantification, and disposal of hazardous material upon site. This is scope. Reference says documents reference operating authority regulations, where operating authority is on regulations, and then contractor, EPC contractor, HSE manual. HSE means health, safety, and environment manual. These are documents this method is based upon. Voice says definitions of certain EPC. It says the engineering, procurement, and construction. PSM says project site manager. SM or SO says safety manager, safety officer. G says geotechnical engineer. IS says infrastructure superintendent. Then S says surveyor. These are definition of titles and responsibilities. Let's say brief responsibilities only here are full. It says EPC contractor shall coordinate with all concerned authorities for respective approval of hazardous materials disposal. And then PSM shall plan, resource, and control activities required for orderly execution of hazardous material disposal. And GE shall ensure location and availability of hazardous material. IS shall ensure location and availability of hazardous material. IS shall ensure location and availability of hazardous material. And SM or SO shall study, inspect, and supervise hazardous materials handling disposal activities, and S shall carry out survey to prepare location sketch. Now, safety, what says? Prior to commencement of all activities, workforce means whatever crew we have on site shall receive a toolbox stock on project site safety requirements. This is mandatory in beginning of work. Whoever crew member to work on that activity must be given a lesson on toolbox, how to operate relevant tools on that activity, what are problems they can face, and how to prevent that. That is called toolbox talk. Means whatever tools you are using, you should know about them, how to use them, and how to avoid accidents, how to take preventive measures, and best means what PPs you have to use. And it also says that toolbox talk on project safety site safety requirements. PPE where appropriate shall be provided to those persons who should come into contact with whatever hazardous materials. So these are two important safety issues. Again I say, prior to commencement of all activities, workforce shall receive a toolbox talk on project site safety requirements. Personal protective equipment, in short we call it PPE, where appropriate shall be provided to those persons who should come into contact with whatever hazardous materials. Now this is very very brief, and I say method. Now what method you can say in this? Let us read what it is. Hazardous material shall be located and identified upon site. So we have to know where these materials are lying, and we mark them or identify them on site. Then ST shall record these details upon a site sketch. ST, which is there, we said ST here. ST shall carry out survey, and all this is their surveyor shall carry out all this. SL survey shall record this upon sketch, and GE and IS shall inspect hazardous material visually and complete an inspection report. An accurate description of material to be provided shall be provided. Accurate description of material to be provided shall be provided. Where elements such as barrels are part of hazardous material, identifying marks upon barrel shall be checked. Where such liquids have leaked into samples of soil shall be taken to verify. ST shall assist GE and IS to establish extent of contamination. Trial pits may be excavated to visually gauge penetration of contamination. Samples of soil from these pits shall verify content and absorption of certain of contaminant. ST shall record all foregoing details for study, review and reporting for required management action. Upon receipt of laboratory results that verify analysis of contaminant, a specific safety plan, if required, shall be prepared for safe handling of suspect material or soil. All precautions that are not defined within this method statement but essential shall be taken up. Solid items of contaminated material shall be lifted by loader shovel into rear of a tipper truck. An inventory of items located into truck shall be produced. Permission shall be obtained from operating authority for purpose of disposal of hazardous material waste into a designated area. Truck covered with a dust preventive sheet shall transport material to an approved operating authority waste disposal site in industrial area. Content shall be offloaded in accordance with facility rules and regulations. monitored by EPC contractor representative. This process shall continue until all items of waste are removed from site. Existing soil material that is contaminated shall be clearly marked with pegs. Using a material shovel, material shall be excavated and loaded into a tipper truck. Truck shall be covered whilst transporting soil to mixing area where soil be stockpiled. This process shall continue until all contaminated soil is removed to satisfaction of J. Stockpile of contaminated soil shall be lightly spread across disposal area at levels above water table, which should be achieved by using loader, shovel and grader. Real thickness shall not exceed 150 mm. A grader shall now mix this layer with layer of uncontaminated material below. This shall have an effect of dispersing material. A normal layer of uncontaminated material shall be placed upon top of this mixed material. If required, a further layer of contaminated material shall be spread over this layer of material until stockpile is depleted. This layer shall be mixed with layer below as described previously. A topping layer of uncontaminated material shall be placed on top of all mixed material. G shall satisfy itself that layer thickness is minimal and material is adequately mixed with layer below. Upon completion of removal of hazardous material, G shall prepare a report that identifies material disposed as well as area of disposal. Now in this air-type equipment also, for example, we use excavator, grader, dump truck, and then we have to have some documents attached with that, ITP number, QCF, visual inspection, etc. This is a standard method statement we prepare for something. This is one of those many method statements we prepared. I'm just trying to give you an example which be easiest way for method statement, and also you can say how to write according to your capacity and how to reflect your knowledge. Method itself announces it means using this working there has to very clearly understand that. That's very important part. If people do not understand your method, they are forced to do means if there is something wrong, they may not even point it out or identify that. Example is it's a hazardous metal. For what is hazardous metal, we have to understand that causes hazard, that causes unexpected, unpleasant situation. We have to identify that. We have to locate it. That's what it says. Hazardous material shall be located and identified upon where it is on site. So we have to know what is that dangerous material, what is the material which can cause impact on our health, and we have to identify that. हमको बताना है यार हिंदी I don't want to speak in this. I'm addressing to whole person. So, and then you can say ST shall record these details. Whoever is there, he will record these details upon site sketch. A sketch must be there, and it should be depicted that this is location of this material. And then geotechnical engineer we call, infrastructure engineers we call geotechnical engineers, represented by G, and infrastructural shall inspect those. So those guys would go and inspect this material, hazardous material, visually, means by view, and then inspection report be prepared. They will prepare an inspection report on that. An accurate description of material shall be provided, exact what material is, to write on that. And where they say there are certain elements like barrels which are part of hazardous material, Identifying marks upon barrel shall be checked. You have to see if there are barrels, what is there on that barrel, what's written, what's indicated, what's engraved. Where appropriate, samples shall be taken to verify content. Then if you are think it's better take samples for verification. Where such liquids have leaked into soil, those liquids might have leaked into soil. Samples of soil shall also be taken to verify amount of contamination, how much damage has been caused to soil by leakage of those liquids. And then ST shall assess GENI. Well, to establish extent of contamination shall be known by that team. They will know what level of contamination has been caused to soil and to other air, for example, or some other environment by that hazardous material. Trial pits may be dug now. Trial pits means a small pit that can be excavated to visually gauge penetration of contamination. If you are not able to understand that, small excavation be done there where there is only leak to and see how far this has penetrated into ground. That contamination. Samples of soil from these pits shall also be samples of soil from these pits shall verify content and absorption if certain of a contaminant. We can take sample of soils where it has penetrated into this contaminant or this hazardous material and how much it has been absorbed by soil, and we can know it means level of contamination from sample of soil when you take from these pits, and record all foregoing details for study, review and reporting for required management action. We have all details now. We have all details from actual location. We have complete record, and we can say that we will study it, review it and report for management action upon receipt of laboratory results. After having received results, we that verify analysis of contaminant, a specific safety plan if required to be prepared for safe handling of suspect material or soil. We have report from laboratory results and this analysis of contaminants available which verifies that, and we must have a plan then how to handle such materials or soil. Now whatever precautions that are required, all precautions that are not defined within this method statement but essential shall be taken up. Now solid items of contaminated material shall be lifted by loader. Now it's a practically work how to do handle this. Solid items of contaminated material should be lifted by loader or shovel into rear of a tipper, put it on truck. An inventory of item loaded into truck shall be produced. Put on what you have sent or dispatched by truck. You have to write that in a list. Permission be obtained from operating authority for purpose of disposal of hazardous material waste into a designated area. There must be operating authority or body or statutory body that directs you where to offload this hazardous material, which is appointed or you can say designated area for that purpose, and you must have a permission letter or a permit issued by that operating authority. Truck covered with dust preventive sheet. You might have seen covered trucks like that. Truck covered with dust preventive sheet shall transport material to an approved operating authority waste disposal site in whatever industrial area there is. So that truck shall take which preventive sheet cover and whichever location that disposal site exists in that industrial area, it shall be disposed of. Content shall be offloaded in accordance with facility rules and regulations monitored by EPC contract representative. So this is the main one. Then you can say contents shall be offloaded in accordance with facility rules and regulations monitored by EPC contract representative. This process continue until all items of waste are removed from site and existing soil material that's contaminated shall be clearly marked with bags, put in bags there, and so this is the area where contaminated soil exists. Truck shall be using existing soil material that is contaminated shall be clearly marked with bags Using a loader shovel, material shall be excavated and loaded into a tipper truck, all that and contaminated levels, contaminated area soil. Truck shall be covered whilst transporting soil to mixing area where soil be stockpiled. This process shall continue by using loader, shovel and grader. Layer thickness shall not exceed 150 mm. A grader shall now fix this layer. Grader shall now fix this layer with layer of uncontaminated material below. This shall have an effect of dispersing material. A normal layer of uncontaminated material A normal layer of uncontaminated material shall be placed upon top of this mixed material. If required, further layer of contaminated material shall be spread over this layer of material until the stockpile is depleted. This layer shall be mixed with layer below as described previously. A topping layer of uncontaminated material shall be placed on top of all mixed material. The geotechnical engineer shall satisfy itself that layer thickness is minimum and material is adequately mixed with layer below. Upon completion of removal of hazardous material, geotechnical engineer shall prepare a report that identifies material disposed as well as area of disposal. And we know this is what we done. Similarly, there is a control of camp sewage system. In camp sewage system, there is a camp how to dispose that. Just for reference, I am showing you this means how we write method statements. These are very small. Let us have a view of this statement also before we close this and continue on our talk. And it's important sometime, Let us say it's a camp, camp where workers stay, camp where your crew stays. Control of camp sewage system. It's only for sewage system. And index is scope, reference, documents, definitions, responsibilities, safety, method, attachment, as in last one. So purpose of scope is purpose of this method statement is to do actions that shall be implemented to monitor and control sewage holding tank status so that overflow is avoided. Sewage holding tank status. Control sewage holding tank status. Says purpose of this method statement is to do actions that be implemented to monitor and control sewage holding tank status so that overflow is avoided, and documents in this method statements or waste management and best definitions are PSM project site manager, CSM construction site manager, CS construction superintendent, SE site engineer, FM foreman, QC quality control, CB camp boss, TM transport manager. Now, very brief responsibilities are PSM shall control overall operation, CSM shall arrange resources required accordingly and act responsibly for excavation operation, CS shall control monitor and direct, SE is FM and workforce for operations. SE shall be responsible for all site operations and follow instructions of CS. Mishap on cross operation shall immediately be notified to CS and CSM for immediate action, if so required, for possible remedy or record or relevant authority review, whatsoever a case may be. FM shall execute operations deploying workforce. FM shall execute operations deploying workforce and instruct in full in medium of language work persons understand. About all required measures, conduct, start toolbox talk every day and check that instructions are followed upon regularly. Again I say, FM shall execute operations, deploying workforce, and instruct in full in medium of language work persons understand about all required measures, conduct, start start, and toolbox talk, whatever start card can be there, toolbox talk can be there every day, and check that instructions are followed up regularly. QC shall inspect all operations according to specifications and ITP requirement. CB shall conduct required monitoring and record keeping of investigation. TM shall ensure provisions of disposal tankers as and when required. So we just talked of certain designations here. You can see FM is foreman and CS is concerned superintendent, SC is site engineer, TM is transport manager. So these are designations of clarification, and start is a standard one, means task. It is task is given on start cards. A card when it's given to someone, giving details on that card. You can say that safety task review. It is kind of means you have to. Is a toolbox talk is general, means you have to explain to them how to use those tools which are involved in certain activity, and the start cards a kind of documentation you have to do. I'll have done, I've spoken this all in my safety talks. We'll also review again, because now I'm going to share these documents with you people. Last time when I did, these were not shared. Now screen share brings, just for example I'm giving the method statement as part of that scheme. Now what to do? Let us say what I say, what actually safety here says. You know, QC shall inspect all operations according to specifications and ITP requirement. CB shall conduct required monitoring and record keeping of investigation. TM shall ensure provisions of disposal tankers as and when required. And safety, now what it says, safety officers shall monitor daily activities, advising and implementing all safety procedures. Prior to commencement of whatever activity, workforce shall receive a start card toolbox talk on project safety site requirements, respecting involved item activity. Process involving a particular safety risk shall be calculated by job hazard assessment, that is job hazard assessment, and necessary measures adopted to address risk issue, so that included measures comply to real requirement standards. Only competent personnel shall be engaged to carry out operations. Personnel involved shall use all necessary PPEs required for all pertinent activities. Ample water should be available. Means ample means enough water should be available on site for workers as well as for all other intended site purposes. Now safety officers shall ensure about all those persons aware of safety obligations and implementation expected of them. Emergency procedure for first aid shall be explained to everybody. All equipment, tools that operate on site shall always be in full working order with appropriate lighting wherever required. All relevant safety issues, including hygiene precautions, shall be implemented, monitored, and maintained for this activity. Site safety department shall monitor sewage disposal areas. Now method, what is that? Now we say a new water meter to record water usage shall be installed